Stage 5 now. Come on. Welcome to the People of PPS podcast, the podcast about the people for the people. In this episode, we're going to be sharing some of our stories from us coaches, and hopefully you can learn from some of our gym fails, and we're going to share with you some of our biggest pet peeves in the gym, all of which we've probably been guilty of before, and you might even be guilty of as well. It's all light-hearted, team. It's just a bit of banter, but we just got to get a few things off our chest today, guys. What's up, team? I've got Christian, Giorgio, and Isaac in the house. Say what's up, team.
What's going on?
What's happening?
What's going on, guys?
How's your day been, Christian?
Yeah, fantastic. Had a great morning.
Why is that?
Just always a good morning. Every morning's a good morning at the moment. Had a good training session. Failed my 3-rep max on bench, but apart from that, pretty good.
But still a good morning?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome,
not the end of the world.
What were you trying to lift?
77 and a half.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How far did you get?
I got to the third one, but I just didn't lock it out.
2-rep max then?
Yeah, 2-rep max. Yeah,
good work, man.
We'll take it, man.
That's that mindset, you know? Like
That's
you said,
it.
it's a great morning. There's always
That's it.
bonuses to take away. Isaac, how are you, buddy?
Always good. Always good.
Always
Life is
good. Tell us about your morning. What was your highlight?
Highlight of my morning. Probably just reflecting with Chris and Brooke through their reviews. I think it was always good just to kind of get an insight with just how they're going with everything that's happened over the last month, and then just being able to kind of continue to help them kind of along their journey here. I think that was probably the biggest highlight of the morning so far.
How are they doing, man? Are we keeping them around?
We're still in our first 3 months. They're doing well. They're doing well. Don't
Hilarious, man. So funny.
Don't take this.
And G, Giorgio, or other nicknames starting with G. Just introduce yourself. This is your first time on the PPS potty.
Oh, yeah. I'm Giorgio. Nickname G, Coach G.
What are your other nicknames?
G Unit.
We're missing one.
I've heard some others.
Oh, G Spot.
Oh, yeah, that's it. The mysterious G spot.
I'm here. I'm here. You found me.
What brings you on board today, man? Where'd you come from?
Yeah, I come from the UK, man.
Yeah.
No, I jumping onto the first podcast for the PPS, which is always fun.
Man, you've been on a video and a podcast only like your second week.
I know, man. Hard and fast into the PPS team.
That's it, man.
No, it's been a good first couple of weeks. The first week was scary as anything.
Why is that?
Because I'm a caveman. Don't do computers. My laptop's probably older than I am. But no, it's been good, man. Got my head around the laptop stuff easy enough with the help of everyone, which has been sweet.
Upgraded from a typewriter. Yeah.
Yeah, just chiseling it.
Yeah.
Hammer and chisel into the rocks. But yeah, no, it's been awesome. And then today, it was nice, you know, I've got a couple of weeks under my belt and we hit some 5-rep maxes with the team this morning, which was always good.
Awesome. Any highlights, any client shout outs?
Yeah, we got Big Bad Bevan, hit 100 for 7 instead of 5. Yeah, man, he went for a pure AMRAP, which was unreal. Awesome. Mark and Huey, they had some good lifts in them today. Yeah.
Sick.
Awesome.
Awesome, man.
Killing
Welcome
it.
to the team. Welcome to the team. We'll find out from Isaac later in the week if you're sticking around or not.
Yeah. No rods or shafts though.
Hey, no, we had team photos today. If you're in a photo, you're sticking around because I'm not replacing them. You got to go get them printed. You got to get the frame done up. We're going to get it done up on the wall as well, the team photos. So we're keeping you guys around. I can't Photoshop you out.
Too big.
All right. So just a quick one, like we do start off every potty, just quick highlights from the last 7 days. Tell us some of your wins from the last 7 days, Christian.
I think Stefano hitting 130 for 6 on his pause deadlift last night would be a highlight for me. Alex Neela, his bench press is really coming along, which was a goal of his. So those have been my 2 main highlights, I'd say. Yeah.
Sick. Isaac?
Who have I got? Sarah Atkinson. Her and her partner own La Rebelle and Bar Rogue, if you're in the area, in the Mount Lawley area.
Free sponsorship. Yeah,
look at that. Publicity. I think she's 7 or 8 kilos down now so far since signing up, which was mid to end November. So just the progress that she's made over the last few months, probably the biggest highlight myself for the week.
Awesome. G, anything else to add?
Yeah, Liz Warren, she started off doing bodyweight squats and she hit 30 kg for her 5-rep max, which was a huge win. So
awesome, man. Awesome. Some passionate coaches sharing wins from the coaching community, which is awesome. I want to start off today's podcast with a little story. I was thinking about this when I thought it would be a good idea to jump on board and just share some of our biggest pet peeves that we see in the gym. And, you know, I thought back and sort of recollected at some of my earlier days in the gym, and maybe, you know, even still more recently. But definitely in my early days, I was guilty of probably everything we're going to say. Behind closed doors, we do like to have a good rant, get a few things off our chest and have a laugh, but never out of judgment, just for fun. But there was a time where I'd probably just been training in the gym for about 6 months, training at a gym back home in New Zealand. I was hitting some squats. And as I tell the story, I want you guys just to tell me how many things I did that would normally trigger you if I was in the gym and you were watching me, okay? Just you know, let me know how many things I would do. So I'm training in the gym, hitting some squats, thinking I'm all strong, made a little bit of gains. So I'm wearing my stringer, my first stringer singlet. I'm squatting next to this guy. He's like a big bikey dude. He's got leathers on, big beard, like real old school bikey. You'd see him drinking in like a country tavern or something. He's squatting as well. And as I'm squatting, man, I've got like 150 kilos on the bar, which is huge, but I'm barely moving it. It's like a quarter squat, right? Like, you know, the ego's playing up because I can see this guy watching me in the corner of his eye, and I'm thinking, man, he's impressed. Like, he's watching me out of envy, you know, out of like respect. But, you know, clearly he would have just been like wondering if he's able to approach me and tell me that I'm barely bending my knees with those squats, you know. But probably the one thing I did, and I still never lived this down, I didn't have clips on the bar.
oh no.
And when I finished my set as a hero and, you know, thought everyone was being envious of my feats of human strength, I unloaded all of my weight, 150 kilos. I unloaded all of it from one side. And guess what the bar did? It flew up in the air, landed next to me, and guess what was next to me? This big bikey dude squatting at the same time, and he lost his shit at me. He was mid squat, and this bar with 75 kilos, I guess half of it goes flying towards him from this little dude in a stringer who was barely quarter squatting it to depth, goes flying towards him, and he just lost his shit at me. Hey, how's that, boys? Anything like that happen to you? How much did I trigger anyone then in your head if you saw me doing that?
Yeah, no, the quarter squat thing is a real issue for me, man.
Have you got a problem with quarter squats, man?
I have a serious problem with quarter squats, man. If you're going to squat.
What do you mean?
There's nothing wrong with like stripping the bar down, man, and just going from
I'm going to prod you. I'm going to get you worked up.
Yeah. No, I just, from like a safety standpoint as well, man, like quarter squats are going to do nothing for you, really. You might get some benefit.
Good for my ego.
But yeah, minus the ego lift, man. It's just not worth it.
So that was the only thing that triggered you, quarter squats. You're pretty happy with the stringer and the unloading all the bar.
Done the stringer, man.
I forgot one important detail. How could I forget? There was something on the bar that shouldn't have been. What was it?
No.
What was on the bar that shouldn't have been?
Pad.
The barbell pad. I had the barbell pad on, man. I remember it being really sore on my shoulders, and I had the barbell pad on. I've worn it, man. Hey, I've worn the barbell pad. I'm not gonna walk around here telling people not to wear the barbell pad if I've not worn it before. You know, you got to go through it. I told you. I confessed. I wore the barbell pad.
Oh man.
I think we're going to see a different side of G today. How's that, man? How's that scenario, boys? What do you think about that, Christian?
Yeah, no, the stringer's no good.
The stringer?
I'm not a fan of the stringer.
I love the stringer.
Not a fan of the stringer. Not a fan of not clipping as well. Non-clipping kills me a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that before, though. I've done that on bench press.
I agree. Yeah, some people do it on bench, and I know some coaches even encourage it. But the stringer was the main trigger for you, eh? What have you got against stringers?
I don't know, just like put it away a little bit. I think. Yeah, no one needs to see all that.
Man, I'm flaunting it, but then how will people see my nipples when I train?
This is true. This is very true. I hadn't thought of that.
How will people know I've got nipples? You know?
Good call.
Awesome. I love the stringer, man. Have you not been to Stereosonic?
I haven't. No, not my cup of tea. I'm afraid.
Don't wear stringers to emo night. Isaac, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts?
The hygiene with the stringers, I couldn't. I think it's more. I'm very.
The hygiene. I've never thought about the hygiene.
I pictured like sweating all over the fucking barbell. Like that's like I think I'm just very conscious about like how much like I sweat normally, let alone like while I train. Like
you sweat an excessive amount, man.
Fuck yeah! Like if I eat, like all hell breaks loose. Like I was doing my warm ups with my squats yesterday. I had like 100 kilos on the bar and like went down to like wrap my knees and I was fucking sweat pissing all over the floor. I think that's why we encourage shirts and comps and stuff like that. Right? Like the hygiene. Yeah. I think that bothered me.
I wasn't quite a powerlifter then, I might have missed squats on depth then. Yeah.
The little pad, I can almost picture it. How old were you?
Well, I didn't join a gym till I was like 24 at that time, so I was 24. And just what I thought the pad was for.
Training years.
Thing's heavy.
Young, right? I think we all might have done it at some stage. I can't say.
But it sounds like a big pet peeve in the gym for you would be sweat all over the benches and maybe not being cleaned up.
Gross.
How's that? Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's gross. Yeah, 100%.
It's gross, man. I'm pretty lucky. I don't sweat that much, mate. I mean, if you've seen me train, I don't train that hard, I guess, probably, and my rest breaks are extensive. But I don't sweat that much. But I agree. If I'm even training a client, no offense to anyone listening, and they're sweating all over the bench, I'm finding it really hard to think about just the training and not see the puddle on the bench.
Fair enough.
Has anyone ever had to approach someone in the gym and have a word to them about their hygiene, whether it be wiping down benches, sweating everywhere, maybe a little bit smelly? Have you ever had to do that?
Yeah.
I hate conflict.
It's tough.
It is tough.
It's a tough situation.
How did you handle it, man?
There was this guy at my old gym back in the UK, man. He used to train in the same top 4 days a week. Like, he put his stuff in his locker and he would just leave that t-shirt in the locker and he would not wash it for 4 days. He would train in it. I just went up to him one day, man, because he was I needed a spot. I was like, man, can you change your top before you spot me? Because like he was over me lifting off and I was like, nah, I can't do it, man. So I bailed on my session and like, I just went home because it was it was too tough, man. It was too tough. And he left the gym like a week after.
Oh no!
Yeah, man. It was
man. He could not have never trained again. He could be like really unhealthy now.
I know, man.
Changed the trajectory of his life,
But he smelled so bad, man. Honestly.
Christian, what's your experience?
I used to work at a gym near a school, and there'd be a bunch of teenage boys that would come in after training, and they'd be after school, and they'd be smelling real bad. I'm like, boys, come on.
In fairness, a teenager's a bit easier because you might expect they're a bit smelly. There's a lot going on at that age, and they might not be that clean. But when you got to have a conversation with an older person or someone more equal, it's a bit awkward. You feel like. You feel like you're telling them that they're dirty, and it's not what you're saying. It's not like a judgment of character. It's just, hey, man, just so you're aware, you've got this shit on your face that you need to wipe, right? It's almost out of, if it comes from respect, if it's like, hey, I just want to let you know, people have been talking, there's a bit of a smell, just want to let you know in case you didn't know, we might just have to keep an eye on it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But if it's just like, hey, you're a smelly guy or girl or woman, that's more offensive. There's a way to handle it, right? Where because I've done it before too, and just the person I had a reasonable relationship with, so it was all out of, I feel, respect, but I had to work myself up to it. You don't want to hurt people, right? Or like,
no, not at all.
Or do it in a way where you're disrespecting them. You know.
It has to be said sometimes.
It has to be said
for the greater good, innit?
Have you ever used a barbell pad, man? Just tell me, just be honest.
Only for hip thrusters.
Okay. What about you, Christian?
Yes, I have.
Oh, man.
Indeed.
And
I
read it all over you.
Even on a hack squat one time, I used a pad. I used
when do you put it on a hack squat?
It was one of those hack squats that had a bar that goes on your back as well. And,
okay. Like a Smith machine?
Yeah, kind of like that, yeah. So I used a pad on that as well, yeah.
I used to really like you, man.
Yeah, that's fair, bro.
I should start asking this question in job interviews. Like, how extensive have you used it? I used it on curls once because the bar was hurting my hands. You know what I mean?
Imagine, man.
Speaking of hands, gloves in the gym, yay or nay?
No.
Has anyone ever worn gloves in the gym? Just tell me now. I won't. It would be okay.
No, man.
No.
Sure?
No.
Christian, come on, man.
No. I never used a bar. I didn't use gloves. Yeah.
Little like leather
Man,
gloves.
I'm going to scroll your photos, man.
You
I'm
ever
going
see
to
the old school,
find
like
out.
mesh ones that they're like 90s
Fingertips cut off and
bodybuilders?
shit.
Yeah, like YMCA wear in their music videos.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly the ones, man.
What are our thoughts against it? Just, I guess, just a reasonable explanation so no one's feeling attacked here, right? Like we're not sort of, shit talking people.
Yeah.
What would your argument be not to wear?
You need to feel the bar, man.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be able to feel the bar. Otherwise, you just sort of lose.
Feel that steel in your hands.
Yeah, man. It helps you get your testosterone up. Scientific fact, man. Scientific fact.
It makes it harder to grip. I think
Yeah,
gloves
100%.
gloves for deadlifts make it harder to grip.
Agreed.
That's why knurling's on the bar, right? I know it's the reason people wear gloves is because of the knurling, but that's the reason that the knurling's on the bar so you can actually grip it. How do you get around that? What's some tips? How do you get around it, team? Any tips, Christian?
Chalk up your hands.
Chalk up, yeah. Dry the hands out so there's no sweat. Isaac, what would your advice be? Someone's like, hey, I want to wear gloves. What do you think I should do instead?
It's not in my class.
Hey?
I don't think it has its place. I can understand why people might want to use them. The whole delicate hands. They want to keep them nice and soft for whatever reason, avoid the little calluses and whatever else. But yeah, I guess it definitely your proprioception to feel whatever you're gripping is. It's obviously it impacted a lot. So yeah, you obviously got the whole stereotype to laugh about it, but it definitely outside of pulling the piss, it's definitely not beneficial. I don't think there's any sort of inherent benefit other than maybe having some softer hands, which tends to just end up being something that joked about.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do physical work, so I actually enjoy that. My barbell hands make me look like, I do a bit of physical work. Like, I'm not a complete office jock, but I sort of am, But I think there's just this period, a lot of newer people to the gym, just that period they have to grit through, and that's that initial period where you've gone from just working an office job, you haven't been doing lifting before, and your hands aren't used to it. You get sore hands, they get rough, and I think you just have to grit through it till some calluses start to form and your hands get tougher from it, right? It's almost like the whole analogy of lifting overall. You just have to build up that resilience and tolerance for it, How's that? Was that deep?
That was deep.
Yeah. Did you feel that? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Christian, what's your next pet peeve in the gym?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe people...
You might not have any, You're just so caring and empathetic to people. You probably see everyone's point of view.
I get it. People supersetting multiple rounds of exercises and using all the dumbbells.
Yeah. Agreed.
Sorry, boys.
That gets me.
Even worse if they're over the other side of the gym.
Yeah.
When I write programs for people with supersets, or especially here at PPS, I know where the equipment is. I try and I'm not going to pair up something on the cables with something on the lat pull down that's over the other side, because someone's going to want to use it. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of people, and just to add to it, when they don't put them away, man.
Oh yeah.
When they don't put them away. And they just grab.
Sorry again, boys.
You're bad for it.
Hey man, it's my gym. I'm coming back. I'm always coming back eventually.
Yeah.
Please pay me. No. I think when people use 5 sets of dumbbells, man, they're phones in between the set as well, and they're even. This is just all you, man. You set this podcast up.
Let's do that review at the end of the week, G.
Oh man. I won't say a big issue with it, but it's definitely annoying to sit back and watch people
I think the environment matters too, though, right? Like if it happens here, it's sort of easy enough just to chat and be like, hey, man, can I work in? And like it's never an issue. But if it's at another gym where you're not sure on the environment and what the whole vibe is, you're not sure how to approach it, right? You're already triggered just from like the environment itself, you know? I mean, Isaac, you came from a big commercial gym. What was your experience there with all that stuff?
Yeah, I think the I was trying to think of some, and the phone one was one that now that you just mentioned comes to mind. I think just being conscious of, especially if you're in another gym.
Man, leg extension and phone, hey?
Oh man, yeah, yeah. I think that's probably one that definitely comes to mind in terms of something that bothers me. Ironic because like yesterday when I was squatting, I was like having like 10-minute rest breaks in between each warm-up set.
For sure.
But obviously like we're here, it's like it's private, no one's training. But yeah, like there's been plenty of times being at like a commercial gym, especially on something that doesn't have a lot, like a leg press or something. And you're sitting there and you're having your good like 5-6 minute rest periods. And fuck, I've been sitting there on a squat rack at a Revo and I'm watching over, kids on the leg press and they're having like little like 5-6 minute chats in between. And I'm like, fuck, I'm like losing my pump and I'm like, fuck, I almost want to go home. Like,
or like, I don't even want that equipment and it's triggering me, you know?
It almost
just out of spite, you know?
Yeah, the frustration gets what you just like, you hold a grudge against it, you don't want it anymore. It's there. But yeah, definitely like the being conscious of like, how you're utilizing your time in a public setting anyways. Another one, packing your weights away. I'm again because I'm probably the one person that's like I almost like assume that everyone will do at least one plate on the leg press, so I always leave a plate on.
Yeah, that's my excuse too. My excuse.
It's just one less plate.
I leave the reverse hyper loaded because I'm the only person in the whole gym that uses it.
I always wondered. I always see that.
No one uses it. I'm like, I bet you I'll come back next week and my weights will still be here for me to use it again. You know, like the only person who uses it. I think people think it's a workbench. They just put all their stuff on it. You know,
That's definitely one. The weights.
Agreed.
Yeah. Fuck, what else?
Man, I'll tell you what, I came from a commercial gym as well before I opened PPS, and to be honest, it was a fairly decent vibe. Like, it was actually really good, and probably full credit to the gym manager, Elliot, for that. But the one thing that gets me, like, you get mirrors, which is all good, have a pose, check yourself out, like, or do what you got to do. But people that use the public gym mirrors to check, like, their teeth, their nose, and their hair, like, guys would get up close to the mirror and, like, maybe pick some food out of their teeth or adjust their hair or, like, like, adjust their face. I'm like, man, there's, like, so many bathrooms here with a private mirror that you can go and, like, adjust yourself in. You know what I mean? Just, it seemed dirty as well. Yeah, you see that?
I don't want to see people picking their teeth, man.
Yeah. Or even just doing your hair. Like, why don't you just go and like, like have a little cheeky flex or whatever, but go and do it in the bathroom, Like that's what it's there for, Yeah, ever happen?
Not to me, but I've seen it happen.
Like, Christian, you came from a commercial gym. You've worked in a few commercial gyms. Yeah, you must have some stories from the crypt.
Yeah. People like members being called a nickname by like staff members and then just like fully losing it, losing it.
What's the story behind this?
I don't know what I should say, but there was a gentleman who used to superset with 10 barbells every day.
What was he doing? What were the exercises?
Oh, just all bicep stuff. And he did bicep and core every single day, and that'd be it. But one day, someone called him his name followed by boy. And he lost it, lost it at the staff member. Yeah, it was.
Not everyone likes to be called boy.
No, he did not like it. He did not like it. No.
I feel that. I'm gonna give him some credit. I feel that can be a bit condescending.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I had other people complain about where the lines in the mirrors were because they couldn't see themselves they couldn't feel themselves squatting in the mirror properly because there was a line in the mirror. That was probably my favorite complaint.
I tell you another common one with that. People complain about the lines in the floor tiles when they go to squat or deadlift if their feet accidentally sit in a line. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So they always they'll move the bar or move the squat racks or adjust their setup so that they're not so that they're standing in one tile rather than accidentally having their foot in a tile. Would that trigger you if your foot was in a tile?
No,
the line, you can feel it under your foot though,
Yeah, that don't bother me too much.
I'll
not
be fussy.
Honest.
Just get it done.
Just no pads.
Just
no pads, man.
Noted for the future. Isaac, anything else to add? You train at another commercial gym quite often, and you see anything there that grinds your gears?
That's why I don't train there.
Well, we've covered. Yeah, man, we've covered. Okay, so I mean, I covered most things with my own experience. When have you been the trigger, you reckon? If you look back, when have you done something that you know would piss people off? Christian, I see you nodding your head.
Oh, yeah, just probably the first time I tried to bench press, I thought body weight was the right sort of weight to go for, and just having to have like 6 people come and save me.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Loaded up
Those
90
feels.
kilos first ever bench, and yeah.
Did you get pinned?
I got pinned. I got pinned real bad.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've been pinned. I just sort of roll it down my body. Did they have to come get it
They
off
had to come get it off me,
Did you like go a different colour? or-
Yeah, I wasn't doing well.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. I
We've all been
think
pinned.
you have to get pinned by a bench just to get over the fear of benching on your own.
Yeah.
Just to know that there is a way out. Like I would just roll it down my body. Or there's always a way, or it just, just shut your eyes and hope for the best. Gee, when have you been the trigger?
Oh man, when I first started training, I used to be the dude that would run all the time.
Man.
Yeah. And there was one guy at the gym, man, he used to use 2.5s and he'd do lap raises and he'd throw them on the floor and be like, ugh. And I was like, fuck, man, that used to be me.
Yeah.
That was a very, very hard pill to swallow.
The grunt. Hey, sometimes you might understand if you look over and there's a fair bit of noise, but you see a bit of weight being moved.
Cool.
Hey, all good.
Go for it, man.
Yeah.
But not 2.5s in it.
Yeah, nah, fair. I agree. I like to think I'm a bit of a silent assassin in the gym. Don't make too much noise. Yeah. So Isaac, you've heard a fair bit of triggers here from us and yourself. Have you ever? Which ones are you guilty of, man?
I reckon throwing throwing might not be the right. It depends on how you toss the things, but definitely dropping your dumbbells in a way that
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Makes it known that you're lifting.
Yeah, I mean, there's
It's
obviously a fine line. If you're pressing something pretty heavy and you drop it, but even then, that's probably even more of a reason to be a little bit more gentle with it. I've seen people trying to press 40s, 50s, and throwing them by their side and almost hitting people and shit like that.
Yeah,
Especially if they start to roll and spin. But yeah, so I definitely used to do, and now that I'm more conscious about it, it's
back
if
on
I
the
would
knees.
drop, back on the knees and dropping down on there.
Especially where the benches are high traffic areas,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like people are coming and going, they're grabbing dumbbells. So if you're out there listening and you're not being respectful around those high traffic areas, sort it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember seeing at Good Life a guy was pressing, it wouldn't have been very heavy, it would have been 15s or 17s, but he dropped them and threw them, and the dumbbell rolled and spat, and it hit the mirror and shattered the mirror.
Man.
Yeah. It didn't shatter everybody, there was a good half a meter or so in the corner that was pretty fucked, and then they had to get a guy in to replace it. But yeah, they're not objects that just as soon as they hit the floor, it's they're standing, they'll spin, they'll roll around. If they hit a mirror, they hit someone's phone. I saw a guy at Reva, probably it would have been a couple of months ago, dropped the dumbbells on the floor after doing a chest press. He dropped it on his own phone.
Oh no!
Heartbreaking. I would have
I've seen people drop weights on other people's phones.
Oh, that's even worse.
But it was just purely by mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would suck.
Yeah,
That
just not being just.
I've done that, man.
Yeah.
I've done that first week at uni, and
Oh man.
I was in a pure gym, and it was like a Revo sort of thing, and literally everyone was around. I was like, "Yeah, I'm the biggest guy," and then I dropped it and fucking
Actually
learned the hard way.
What used to be a thing, I probably still do it.
This didn't almost kill a bikie.
Before you,
With a
before
barbell
you
pad on.
grabbing your phone before you set and changing the song and just tossing your phone.
Yeah.
I definitely still do it. That's why my phone is chips to everything. But changing the song, getting ready for your set, and just tossing it.
At my old gym, when I was training clients, my phone would just always be on the floor. People would just walk over the top, not step on it, would just be on the floor all the time, man. Yeah.
man.
Like I own the place. Man, named a few. I got some lifting triggers. So not actually, I think we've named a few basic sort of phases that we go through, like wearing gloves, using the barbell pad, wearing a stringer, just some sort of things like that. Then we talked about more I guess hygiene and respect. Those are the big triggers in every gym, right? And why I haven't stepped foot in a big commercial gym for 7 years. That's throwing weights around, leaving a mess, maybe being a bit smelly or making a lot of noise or hogging the mirror. few lifting ones, but while I'm on mirror, how annoying is it when you go to get a pair of dumbbells from the dumbbell rack and someone's doing curls or lateral raises in front of the whole dumbbell rack, centimeters from the mirror to see themselves? You can't get to the weights.
That's me.
That is man, I can imagine it too.
I'm short-sighted.
I can imagine the weights too.
If I'm too far away, I can't see much. I got to be nice and close. Yeah.
Oh man, this big wingspan. You're like 6 foot tall. These big arms floundering around, and people can't get to the weights, and they'll be like too scared to ask as well. Oh man, what about you, man? You would have done that before, eh?
Yeah, I would have done that before. And I take up the whole rack when I'm doing lateral raises too. I cover a lot of distance, so
you'll
run the rack.
Yeah. But like people always come up to me like, hey, like we need more mirrors in the gym, like to check our form. I'm like, no, because it encourages just encourages some weird things happen when there's lots of mirrors in a gym. I just makes people a bit different, that's all, you know. But so what I was going to get to was more the lifting stuff, like maybe how people lift or what they do. I've got two. One is dropping the deadlift bar. The deadlift is an up and down movement, not just up. You have to put it down as well. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, 100%.
Triggers the shit out of me.
Yeah, pisses me.
I see it sometimes here in the gym on max out days. Big chair, get to the top, and then just drop the bar. I'm like, you did not get. I'm not giving it.
It's a no rep, man.
Yeah,
you're ruining your own lift.
Christian.
Straight leg on the leg press. Straight leg on the leg press.
Oh, what do you mean locking out the leg press
with the straight leg?
What about the deadlift? Have you done that before?
Yeah.
Oh man, I knew it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, every rep.
Oh man. Isaac, just before we move on to stiff dead leg press,
Definitely.
Have you dropped the deadlift bar?
Always. You conserve energy on my warm-up sets. You have to avoid the essential.
Where do you drop it from?
Like below the net. Below the net.
I'm talking full lockout stand-up. They do it in CrossFit, and there's a few people that do it in the gym. I'm talking like up and down, but standing up and just dropping it from the starting position.
I wouldn't trust it not to bounce back.
I feel like it's disrespecting the weights too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But like any movement's up or down. But so if you're doing that, put the bar down. Start doing some tempo lifts. Christian, you're talking about locking out the leg press of a stiff leg. Sounds like you've been watching YouTube videos of people breaking their legs on leg press.
Correct.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? What's your advice for people?
Don't lock out on the leg press. Just have a little bend still, just a little one. Doesn't have to be doesn't have to be a major bend, but just a tiny little bend still.
Great, man.
I don't know.
Tiny bend, Christian Horsley. You heard it here first.
Bend.
Yeah. What was your thoughts, Isaac? Have you got a counter argument?
I've got to think I've got a video of me pushing a good 600 with the knees nice and up. Nice and firm.
Mate, wait till you get to 30. We'll see what those knees are like, eh? Those young, supple knees.
I've seen the videos, so I understand the argument why, but where's my little video of me?
While he's looking up that, G?
I sent it to Sue.
I'm not a lockout person. I had a little scare once when I was doing single leg.
Yep.
And just, bend.
Little bend.
I'm with you, Mr. Horsley. Little bend.
So.
Yeah, I agree. While Isaac's pulling up the footage, I got to hang on, wait.
Little 600.
What's the ROM like?
Mate, I put
not bad.
It's pretty.
Yeah, that's good ROM. That's good ROM.
For
those listening, we approve Isaac's leg press here because we're going to talk about heavyweight lack of range. Lack of range. Heavyweight barbell on bench press maybe doesn't touch the chest. Dumbbells on bench press aren't going deep enough. Obviously, quarter squatting, guilty. I did it. Heavyweights, lack of range. What are your thoughts?
It pains me, man. Honestly,
he's in actual pain. Eh?
Yeah. I think you're the most triggered here.
Honestly, it annoys me so much, man. Because I don't know. I feel like it's just an ego thing for a lot of people, and you'll just get way more from stripping it back down.
I agree.
Start from the beginning.
I remember being at Anytime in Illu, my last gym, and once again, this is me. I'm guilty here. I was incline barbell pressing. I got myself up to 80. I was a bit smaller then, not as strong, but I got a guy to spot me, Irish lad, and he spotted me. I lifted it off. I think I did 5 at 80, racked it up, feeling good, and he's like, he goes, Mate, I don't know you well enough, so I don't know what your, I don't know if you can take a joke or not, but I was about to ask you where the rest of your rep was. And man, this is like 9 years later, right? Or 8 years later, so I can clearly still remember it. And after that, just head down, and that's when I knew to myself, all right, I've got some rebuilding to do. Got some rebuilding to do, you know. I took it on the chin. But hey,
you have to, man.
I got burned. I got burned. I still haven't forgot. One day I'll see him again and do a full ROM press. Yeah. Got another one. I pulled Christian up on this last Friday.
Oh, no.
Bench press, lock it out, then rack it. You know when people max out their bench or are doing bench and they rep it into the rack on their last rep? Lock it out, man. Yeah. It's the same thing, right? Did you take that pointer on board?
I did. That's why I didn't count the third one today.
I thought it pinned you.
No, I didn't. No.
Is that why you didn't start?
I didn't count it because I went into the rack and I was like,
good. A man of integrity, one of our core values. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? When I'm training clients, I push the bar back out. Like Christian was there. I held it. He wasn't allowed to lock out. He wasn't allowed to rack it till he locked out.
I have done it before, but I was
nice knowing you, man.
Taught very, very, very quickly. Like my old coach. Literally same thing, man. As soon as I go to rack it, he'd lift it back out.
Yeah.
If I do it
People, it can happen on squats too. You can squat into the rack to rack it up. You know,
and the whole thing wobbles, and you're like,
like I said, like I say to anyone who does it, I was like, the rack's not going anywhere. Like you're moving, but the bench press or the squat rack actually isn't moving away from you, so you don't have to look for it or run to it. Like it's all good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Isaac, thoughts?
Yeah. No, I agree. Or like an aggressive rack.
Okay.
Here we go. I think you've pulled me up, or at least I can see that you've probably noticed it. Like on my bench, like I'll like rack it, but like I'll rack it like too aggressively, and then the bench will start. It's just being mindful.
Fair. Depends on the weight. Depends on the weight.
Exactly.
If it depends on once again, I think it's just about knowing the person and it might not trigger you as much. Or knowing the environment. Like if the person is like, they're smelly, they're unhygienic, maybe they're wearing a stringer and they're sweating everywhere and they are doing that stuff, it's going to trigger you a lot more. But if it's just like a really nice guy and you know him, it's all good. You get the person's perspective. This was another one. And I pulled up someone else on this. Racking and unracking the squat bar with an overhead press. Pains me, man. It pains me. Why would you do that to your shoulders? Why pick it up and lift it over your shoulders and then unrack it by picking up and lifting over your shoulders? Like, why do that?
There's no logic.
This
is not beneficial in any way, shape, or form.
Legit, like, saw a guy when I was coaching down at Yangebup, super strong. He did it with like... Honestly, I thought he had at least 80 kilos on his back. He could bench press 170. He had really strong shoulders, and our accessory was overhead press after squats. So we had done our squats, and he was still in the squat mindset. So instead of doing barbell overhead press, he unracked the squat bar on his shoulders, and he looked around and saw everyone overhead pressing, so he legit just picked it up off his back, carried it over his shoulder, over his head, and then started overhead pressing it, man. I was like, shit, this dude's like strong.
Fair enough.
Like full respect, really. There are smarter ways to do things in the gym, right? Isaac, thoughts?
No, I agree. It's maybe I don't know what the reasons for it. Maybe it's a little bit of a involuntary superset of some sort. I'm not sure the justifications, but
I think whoever did it here is a really cool guy, though.
Confused the muscle, right?
I think it's more just a casual thing, right? Like just sort of it's only an empty bar. Like I don't have to rack this properly. I don't have to treat it like with the same respect as a heavyweight. You know, like no one's going to do it with a working weight on, right? It's usually when the bar's just unloaded. But the reason being, like, I think you should just treat every set the same, whether it's 1 rep max or like 0%. You're building habits, you're building patterns and consistency, right? And any chance to reduce the risk of injury is more than welcomed around here, right? Any excuses to injure ourselves, we don't need any more of those, you know. Christian, lead on to something else for us, man. Take the spotlight off you, man.
What else we got? Probably people that roll the deadlift bar forward before they lift it.
Oh, like strong men do? You don't like that?
I don't like it. I don't know. Because like you can't lift the bar from there. So
what did Eddie Hall do to you?
I don't know. Strong men are different. Like there's a certain like level of aggression and intent they need. But when we're teaching good form and stuff, you don't need to roll the bar in front of you.
Fair enough.
I agree. I think it's probably harder to replicate consistency in that aspect, whereas strong men obviously have one rep to complete or multiple. They get their first rep up with the roll. So no, fair, man, fair. Giorgio?
People slamming cables, man.
Oh, the cables, they're not built for that.
Yeah, nah, I've seen cables snap. People doing like cable flies and then they just let it go and bang. Makes me jump. I'm a very jumpy person, man. So that's sort of shit.
Keep that in mind. Yeah, keep that in mind. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a serious one.
Fuck.
Yes.
It doesn't happen.
Yes, here we go.
Much more at this stage, but like pushing through a rep, especially like a deadlift that you know you don't have. When you've got like a 5 second like ISO hold below the knee and that bar's like not moving, you're like, just fucking drop it, please. And it just stays still. And like, you're like, fuck, is this person going to hurt themselves?
And it gets awkward, right? Because you want to support, like you want to be seen to be supportive, but you don't want to be Mr. Negative in the room. Yeah. Everyone's cheering and you're like, you're like, hey, give it up.
Or with the rounded back, like the upper back, the kyphosis, and it's just like a semicircle with your spine like that.
Like a dog taking a poo, eh?
Oh,
legit, man.
And man.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
It's painful to watch.
Yeah, it's hard because you want to support the person, but you also want to give them some honest feedback, right? You know what's helpful? You do video people's lifts for them from the side, and then you can just show them and be like, hey, look, good lift, good props and whatever, but this is what it looked like, and this is how we can improve it for next time, right? You know. Yeah. But if you're taking my coach's hat off, if you're not coaching people and you're just in a gym and you see it happening and the person's like got a one-way trip to Snap City, then that's a trigger, because you clearly know they don't have a coach, they're just doing their thing. Hey, we can give some advice, but are they able to take it? You know what I mean? Well, it'll burn me like that Irish guy did to me at any time in a loo, Man, I got the biggest trigger now. And there's a guy at Yangebup, Brett, I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but you're going to love this. He's got an Instagram page purely dedicated to pissing us off with photos of how he loads his bars. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah. He's come up.
Bar porn. Honestly, every single day. I stopped sharing them. I stopped liking them because I know he's trying to trigger us, but he triggers Neve and Craig down there. He'll load any weight possible the most weirdest way just to try and trigger the team. Like, I'll bring it up. I'll put a screenshot up on the podcast, but his name's Brett. Brett Crans Little. Him and his wife train down at Yangebup. The way people load bars. I've got a way about it, you know. I got a way about it.
There's only one way to do it.
Yeah.
There's one way to load
numerical order in the right order. Hey, I'll pick my battles. If we're busy and the group sessions need to move along and the person's moving slow, I'll have to grind it out and just sort of let it go.
Yeah.
But if we're doing things properly, I try and teach people from a very early stage here at the gym, this is how you load a bar. Like if I say 40, 10 on each side, not 2 5s, or not a 5 and 2 2.5s. If I say 60, it's a 20, it's a biscuit. You know what I mean? Like it looks better too. You know what I mean? I think that adds, it's like feng shui or karma or whatever you want to call it, right? What are your thoughts?
I wholeheartedly agree. I think you got to put the weights on numerically. I think you just have to do it. I think
if there's a video of me doing a deadlift, I want it to look as good as possible, right? Like if I want 180, I want 420s on there. That just looks good, you know, or definitely. 25s if you're in a powerlifting gym. But and if I've got a client, I don't want to be standing next to a client. Everyone looks over and that client's got all the 5 kilo plates to do a 100 kilo deadlift, right? You know, oh man, that dude doesn't know his barbell etiquette. You know, that's a trigger. How people load their bars and racking weights on weight trees in non-numerical order. This is for 20s. This is for 10s. You know,
don't put a 10 on top of a 20.
No
need for it.
Don't do it.
All right. That's up there with the pad and the incorrect form for me.
I haven't done that one because I don't rack my weights. But
I was going to say, yours is still on the floor.
It's a trophy. Yeah, that's a big trigger. Hey, you know what's good? Very rarely, honestly, maybe once or twice a year, we have to worry about any of the stuff at PPS, if any of it. Like I don't ever recall having to like move someone's weights or unrack someone's weights for them or have a word to someone about gym etiquette. You know, every now and then I don't even see people use the barbell pad on their squats here. Yeah. We've got one little rule here, which isn't common at most gyms. It's no headphones, just to encourage a bit of social interaction. But every now and then we've got to pull people up on that. They understand. A lot of people like it, but really, I don't see anything here that that really breaks the rules of his taboo. Hey, yeah, no one that we can't just have a word to about, and teach them the right way. I guess that's why people come to the gym. Guys, is there anything you want to add before we start wrapping up? Anything? Have you got any confessions? What have you done? Christian, what have you done, man?
What have I done?
Come on.
I'm just trying to think, man, because I'm sure I've done some of the things we've
your hair's quite long. When you lay down on bench press and someone has to spot you and it's not tied up, do they stand on it?
That has happened before, yeah.
Yeah, I read it. We had a guy at the gym. His name was Reese. He's Greek. Real long curly hair. I was spotting him on bench press at a competition. I went to stand up on the platform and his long hair was just all over the bench. I was like, man, where am I meant to stand to unrack this guy? It was everywhere. I had to get him to pull it back. Yeah.
No, it happened once when I was in training and never again. I started tying my hair right up the top, like a little
top knot.
Little 12-year-old bauble, man. It was embarrassing, but
those troll
saved
dolls,
me. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the troll dolls, man.
Isaac, anything to add? Did we cover some of the sacrificial sins of the gym and our experience with them, and maybe how we can fix them?
I think we hit everything up.
Yeah, awesome. I feel lighter now. I've got that all off my chest.
I have one more.
Oh man, here we go.
I'm not seeing it here, but you ever see people bowl into the gym in thongs? Of slides.
Oh man,
definitely.
Yeah,
no.
Me.
Yeah, but you put your shoes on to train.
Yeah.
I'm talking people training in their.
Alex at South Perth, he trains in what do they call them?
Slides.
Slides. He trains in slides. Jats and the team up at Wanneroo, they're barefoot trainers.
Barefoot trainers is different, man. But thongs and slides can't be training in them.
Oh, thongs and slides. Yeah. Okay. What about the toe shoes? The ones? Like you're Spider-Man and going to scale a wall or something.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about them. Yeah. They look weird, man.
Yeah.
More than anything, they make me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Why?
They just look strange, man. I don't want to see someone.
Yeah, like a dude's going to start scaling up the wall or something. Yeah. Guys, good chat. I think we covered everything. I think we shared a few good laughs here. Once again, team, lots of it from my own or our own personal experience. And there's always solutions to some of that stuff. And if you think you might be guilty or are triggered, hey, maybe you can make a few corrections to your training and gym etiquette moving forward. Good chat, boys. Let's wrap it up there.